Hi guys, this is Derrick Ruiz with eXp Realty Commercial. I'm an apartment broker, tax strategist, and in today's very important video, I wanted to highlight the 10 mistakes that landlords often make that get them in trouble and how to avoid them. So let's get started. So, as you know, Los Angeles is a complex and tenant-friendly market where landlords must carefully navigate various state, local, and federal laws. Even experienced property owners can make costly mistakes, and here are the 10 biggest legal pitfalls in LA that landlords should avoid when managing their properties. Okay, number one, failing to comply with rent control laws. So, as you know, LA has very stringent rent control regulations under the Rent Stabilization Ordinance, RSO, and landlords often make mistakes by illegally raising the rent beyond allowable percentages or neglecting to provide the required notices. The annual rent increase limit is adjusted based on inflation, and failure to comply with these regulations can result in penalties or fines or lawsuits from your tenants. I know one landlord that raised rents during COVID and somehow got away with it. I guess his tenants weren't aware that there was to be no rent raises during COVID. And if any of these tenants find out in the future, I'm sure the guy's gonna have a lawsuit. So that was number one. Number two, improper evictions. California's just cause eviction laws from AB 1482 protects tenants from arbitrary evictions. Many landlords believe they can evict tenants for minor violations or at the end of a lease term, which is not always the case. Evicting without just cause, failing to give proper notice, or neglecting to file an unlawful detainer action can lead to legal challenges and hefty fines. I know landlords that think that at the end of a 1 year lease, they can just snap their fingers and the tenant's got to go. It's really tough to get tenants out, and evicting tenants is very difficult, even with the best attorney on your side. So be careful about attempting to do an improper eviction. Um, Number three, security deposit mismanagement. California law limits security deposits to 2 months rent for unfurnished units and 3 months rent for furnished units. Now that's changing where you could only ask for 1 month's deposit now. So, and landlords must provide an itemized list of any deductions from the deposit within 21 days of a tenant moving out. Mismanagement of security deposits, including holding more than the legal limit or failing to return them in a timely manner, or not paying interest on that security deposit, is a frequent legal issue and can get landlords in hot water. Number four, very important, ignoring habitability standards. So landlords must ensure that their rental units meet basic habitability standards, including, working heat and plumbing and safe conditions. And failure to maintain the property in compliance with health and safety codes can result in tenant claims for rent reductions, repair costs, or even lawsuits for constructive eviction. So, and as you know, the city periodically does these SCEP inspections where they come and they check the habitability of your unit. And if it's substandard, they're going to make you make repairs and stuff. So make sure you maintain your building, make sure that everything is safe, everything's working, and you'll avoid a lot of problems. Number five, neglecting to provide proper notices. Landlords often fail to follow proper notice procedures. For instance, when raising rent, terminating a tenancy, or entering a rental unit, specific notices and timelines must be followed under both state and local laws. For example, A landlord must give a tenant 24-hour notice before entering the property, except for emergencies. And ignoring these kind of requirements can lead to legal disputes with your tenants, and we all want to avoid that. Okay, number 6, discriminatory practices. Fair housing laws under the Fair Employment and Housing Act and the Federal Fair Housing Act prohibit discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, family status, disability, and other protected classes. Violations occur when landlords refuse to rent to certain groups or impose different terms or retaliate against tenants for asserting their rights. Discriminatory practices can result in severe penalties and litigation. Number 7, incorrect handling of tenant buyouts. This is a biggie. Tenant buyouts or cash for keys agreements allow landlords to negotiate with tenants to vacate rent-controlled units. However, many landlords fail to properly document these agreements or meet disclosure requirements under the Los Angeles Tenant Buyout Ordinance. This mistake can void the agreement and expose the landlord to legal risk. One of my clients right now is in litigation after they did an improper cash for keys situation with a tenant. And now a year later, the tenant's back with a lawsuit and an attorney suing the landlord for, I don't know what the cause of action is, but even though they did a cash for keys, he's still being sued. So make sure you correctly handle tenant buyout agreements and always use an attorney. Number 8, mishandling repairs and maintenance requests. California law requires landlords to make necessary repairs within a reasonable time after being notified of a problem. Delays or refusals to address issues can result in tenants' claims for rent withholding, repair and deduct actions, or even lawsuits. Mismanaging these requests can create grounds for tenant retaliation claims or violations of implied warranty of habitability. So guys, when there's an issue, a repair issue with your building, get it fixed as soon as you can and avoid this common problem. Number 9, improper lease clauses. Including illegal clauses in rental agreements, such as waiving tenants' right to sue or imposing unreasonable penalties, can render parts of the lease unenforceable. Lease agreements must comply with California and Los Angeles laws. Landlords should regularly update their leases to ensure they reflect changes in the law, such as AB 1482, rent control, and just cause eviction protections. I recommend you go to Dennis Block's website. He's got a great free rental agreement that you can use free of charge, and it covers all of these clauses. And Dennis is always updating these lease agreements. So check that out. Number 10, retaliation against tenants. California law protects tenants from retaliation for exercising their rights, such as filing complaints about the condition of the property or reporting discriminatory practices. Landlords who attempt to evict, raise rent, or cut off essential services in retaliation risk lawsuits and significant fines. So, in conclusion, navigating the LA rental market requires landlords to stay informed about ever-evolving laws and regulations. Common legal mistakes can result in costly penalties, lawsuits, and reputational damage. Landlords should seek legal counsel to ensure compliance with local ordinance, state laws, and federal regulations to protect themselves and their investments. So, bottom line is, you guys got to be on your toes when you're running these buildings. You want to have a good attorney on speed dial. I know the best guy in town if you need something. So, you got to follow the law, and you can't hassle or retaliate against your tenants. You got to be civil and deal with people with a smile, especially tenants. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, you need an attorney referral, or you need anything else, feel free to reach out and call me, text me, send me an email. I'm here to help. Thanks for watching. This is Derrick Ruiz, eXp Realty Commercial, your apartment broker and expert. Thanks a lot.